Hello and good day, everyone. We're excited to kickstart yet another session by Codis Cafe. And I'm Mayuri, a vendor intern at Atlassian, who will be your host for today. So, we have Kulsum on the call today. A short introduction about her. Kulsum leads the community chapter of Codis Cafe in Bangladesh. She's done her master's in computer science from the American International University, Bangladesh, and she's a quality assurance engineer, also known as QA by profession, and is currently assistant vice president at the Green Delta Insurance Company. So glad to have you as a speaker for today, Kusum. I'm pretty sure the viewers and I myself have a lot to learn from you. So moving on to the very first question, Kusum, can you brief about your role? What are the tasks or challenges that you face day to day? And what kind of work are you expected to bring to the table?
Thanks, Mayuri, for introducing me. Well, basically, when I go to my workplace, I have the deadlines of the task fixed, like which product particularly I have to test. I have a deadline schedule. I note it down in my calendar, and depending on the type of project, at times I have to interact with the developer or with the underwriter team, since I work in an insurance company. So the underwriters, they have the most knowledge over there regarding the products that we are using. So I talk with them. I At times I discuss with them if there is anything I'm missing or if I don't understand anything, and then I write test cases. I do the testing, and I try to finish my task within the deadline that we have. So basically here, I got hired as, like, I'm like the officially the first QA in my current company. So when I got hired back at 2021, and the new software that we have is basically I started it to test the product. Basically, I had the opportunity to set all the testing methodology and procedures or what I need to work on. So I'm really glad that I got to start from scratch in an amazing organization like Green Delta Insurance. So I was a bit nervous since it's my first fintech job, but so far three major modules we have successfully, uh, they are up and running in different branches in Bangladesh. So I guess this is one of my big achievement after I have joined here.
Right. That's pretty amazing, Kusum. Further on, could you please elaborate on how did you come to know this and how did you get this opportunity?
Well, I was looking for jobs, and there was this job vacancy post at BD Jobs in Bangladesh. So basically, all the job vacancy announcement officially goes there. So I just applied through the portal, and then I got called for two interviews. So both of them went well, and that's how I got hired.
Wonderful, Kusum. That's so interesting to hear. So, proceeding to the next question, what do you think the skill sets are that you need to develop for getting selected for this role?
Well, actually started my career at 2016 as a web developer. Then I worked as a system engineer. Then from 2020, I started working as a QA. So basically, I had knowledge from all three roles, which basically you need to have an application up and running. So this was like a plus point to my current company uh, who have hired me.
Right.
And other than that, uh, I worked in government projects. At my second job in Bangladesh satellite project, I got an opportunity to work with my company. So there, uh, there I got to learn.
Right.
There I got to learn, that added a big impact to my resume, and as I was already working in a remote job, so that all these experiences made me a very good candidate for this job.
All right. So I see that it is a mix of project management, development, as well as testing roles all in one. So you get a pretty versatile exposure. So moving on, how important do you think coding skills are for this role?
Well, nowadays, since QA role is being shifting to automation, so most of the places they actually take a basic coding test for freshers, especially. And once you start to get senior, they expect you to know automation, so you need to have a proper, at least you need to know one language, whichever you like, and know the basic algorithms and have the problem solving skill sets.
All right. So here's the key point, guys. Coding is equally important for the role of QA as well. So moving forward, what do you think are the key differences between a software developer and a QA role?
Well, basically, the role of the developer is to create the product according to the requirement and have a check at their end. But as a QA, my job is to first validate and verify whether, like, the way the requirement was given, has all the requirements have been fulfilled or not, or is there any gap, or the way the product was supposed to be, if the logics are not there or not. So it's like my job as a QA, it's your job to actually confirm that the product works well. You need to understand the end users, how the users will interact. You have to actually go through everything, like the UI. Since at my current company we have migrated from desktop application to web application, so the users, for them it's a bit difficult, since we have very quite senior users, they're working for a very long time in this company. So you have to interact with the end users and understand them. Developers usually don't get to interact with the end users that much, but as a QA, you need to understand how the user will perceive the product, how comfortably they can use the product, because basically the product is created for the end user, and if they don't feel comfortable to use it, so it would be a problem.
All
So
right. So this brings me to another important question for many freshers like us. So being a senior, how often do you get to interact with end users and clients? And how much value does this add to your team as far as your role is concerned?
well, here, according to my role, we have, like, there is one part of testing, UAT, user acceptance testing, where the end users actually test the application. And as a QA, I give brief about the application, how things are gonna be, and we create a list. So there, I get to interact with the users at UAT phase, and there interacting with the users helps me to understand the software much better. So those are like very rare cases. UAT happens when a module is going for a live, and with project team, development team, obviously I have to interact with them always, because I have to work with both the teams together, including operation team as well, if I need any server or anything to be configured. And other than that, if I have to work with other teams like the underwriting department, to gather knowledge, I have to go there and talk with the underwriters as well. So whenever anything is like new things are being developed, I have to interact at that time more. But when once a module is up and running, those interaction reduces, because now the product is stable and you just have the CR, so that doesn't take much of interaction.
Got it. So that was very well organized and informative, I must say.
Thanks.
There's another question, Kusum, and the competition has gone really tough, especially in these times. So, how can certifications help you stand out? Also, which courses or certifications do you think might help out, especially for juniors?
Sorry. Well, the certifications will help because actually it's not for juniors. After they get basic, they can do some basic courses. For they'll get it at Udemy or different
Right, right.
places, like senior QAs. Like in my country, they provide basic QA courses, so it's better to take the courses from from someone who are like very experienced. Take the beginning course because they will give you a brief idea about how the application works, what is testing, how you will write test cases. Because automation is the later test. As a fresher, you need to know manual QA very well, and for that you need to understand what are the test methodologies. And so after that, after you work for like 2 3 years, then you can start taking ISTQB certification. CTFL is the basic one. It's like the first step towards being a certified QA. So once you do CTFL, there are like many ways to go. You can be from there. You can be a agile tester, automotive tester, security tester. You can be a QA ops. You can go. There are very huge options to explore. Then once you start, and nowadays since agile is adapted so much in all of the organization, most is like quite
Right, right.
popular. So basically, in agile, QA falls in CSD team, in developer team. So for the day certified Scrum developer certificate. So if you are QA, you can go for CSD and level up. And it's good to take CSM because some QAs that tend to later go and work as a product owner. And having a managerial skills, once you get start to get senior, it helps. And Linux Red Hat administration is for people who was for the QS who wants to go for security testing, or those who wants to go for like QA ops. And it's like they have networking knowledge and the QA knowledge, so it's better to get some certifications from Red Hat. It helps. And for security and penetration testing, there is certified ethical hacker certification. There are several of them. They can take that and they can go for penetration testing or security testing, because those type of testers is like they get paid the highest among all the types of tester. So some people who prefers to work with security, they can go for that.
All right, Kusum. So there are very valuable points to note down from your answer. Now, here's another tricky question for you. So, people have this myth that developers get a wide range of projects to put hands on, and QAs have limited exposure. So, how do you want to break that myth?
Actually, it's not that. It's actually quite different now, since nowadays, as the stack is changing so fastly, the QA have to also adapt themselves to the stack as well. Because if there is a project, the front end is in Angular and the back end is in Java, you need to know both to test. Because and so as the tech stacks are changing, as developer are working on different types of new stacks, as a QA you also get to know those tags as well, and get to know the different types of applications as well. And if you like varieties, you can switch industries, and work at different type of industries with different type of products. Like I did, I worked in like 4 different companies. Like first one was an IT company, then it was an DTH company, then it was a company which made their own products, and currently I'm working in insurance company. So as a QA, you have a lot to explore. So you have many industries to work. And in India, there are like so many amazing startups and big MNCs. They have a huge opportunity to work, so much field to explore. They will learn as much as a developer.
All right, guys. So, you see that there's so much in common between both the roles, both in terms of project as well as compensation. Next on, apart from technical knowledge, how important do you think are communication skills to excel in this field?
Um, well, nowadays, communication skill is actually quite important because at first, as a QA, you have to interact with so many people with different roles. At times, you need to explain to certain your people that why your test is being delayed or what you need to make your test go faster.
Right,
You need to learn how to communicate because as a QA we can't go and argue with everyone, because if go and argue with a developer like this is a bug, we have to do it, they'll never fix it, then there'll be a big
right,
fight and that bug will be never be resolved, and if it's a big issue the deadline will be delayed, so which will
right.
be a problem for the management. So as a QA you need to be very cool headed, you need to be like friendly and be polite as much as possible, so to get the work done, because as a QA we are not here to just get the bug and fight and solve it. We have to work together as a team with all the peoples and get the product live so the end users can use it.
Amazingly put, Kusum. That's a wonderful piece of information. Adding on to it, do you have any other tips that would help you as a QA engineer to go above and beyond in your current role? Or what suggestions do you have for juniors who are excited to explore this field?
Okay, like since I'm exploring new opportunities, what I have found that other than having a job, they like when you have hobbies or when you are contributing in any open source community or you're part of any community, you're giving what you have learned, you are giving it to back to the community. These sort of things actually they're like eye catchy, and this actually puts your resume up. There are many ways to contribute, just don't have to write code. You can do documentation, you can work with many organizations, like as just volunteer, share your knowledge. There are many testing communities in India I have seen, um, all around the world. Be part of them, learn, share, write your blog. Writing blog is like it it's like a very big plus point. So the more you learn, the more you give, puts your CV at much higher rank, because the job market for QA is small compared to QA developers, because if they hire 10 developers they might hire 2 QA, max 3 QA. So it's very competitive for us and we need to get our CVs higher. So for that, having good hobbies and contributing in community always adds a plus point.
Yeah. Thank you for putting it so amazingly, Kusum. So this brings us to the end of our session. Meanwhile, we hope that this session added value and that we all were able to learn something from this. So, guys, stay tuned for updates and more such sessions in the future from Coders Cafe. So, thank you for your time, Kulsum, and thank you to all of these who attended the session. So, looking forward to meeting you soon with another engaging session or event. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Mayuri.
Thank you.